Now let's make this even more complicated, right? Because clearly you wouldn't normally write your NOLOH applications this way. That this isn't how you get those applications that I showed you, right? So how do you do those sorts of things? You would normally start by doing what I said earlier, and extending by extending controls. You would create your own objects. So say you had a panel. We'll have a new panel here, and left top with height, so 100, and we'll make this panel back color. So there's a back color property, but again, you can also do CSS. So say you wanted to make this a CSS property, you could do CSS background equals red. But there's also a native property back color. You can see this in the documentation. It's red, but it could also be capital red. I just prefer for colors to be lowercase. Actually, you can actually do, we have a color class, so you can actually just do color colon red if you prefer, but you can also just type in the string red. But I'll do color colon red, and I'm going to add this. So this controls add. So instead of the bracket that I showed earlier, we're just going to add panel. We're going to just remove this function sumfunc. It's not necessary. Refresh, and we get a panel with a color of red. So say you wanted to do this 3 times, you would have to do, 1, 2, 3, and then do, so we can do 2, 3, and we can then do add range, and then we'd have to name all these. So this would be panel 1, panel 2, and then we'd add range panel 2, panel 3, and save, and then we would get 3 panels. But so you now have redundant code, whereas what you really want to do is you really want to just create your own custom panel. So we're going to create a new file. We're going to call it custom panel. And so we saw that it was a panel. So we're going to create class custom panel extends panel, and we're going to write the constructor custom panel, and we need to take in a left top and width and height, right? So you could just hard code in the call to the parent constructor like we're about to do, which you need to pass in a left top with height like you have here. So if we look over here, you can see that we did new panel left top with height. So all we do here is we're just going to, when a new custom panel is constructed, it'll place a call to the parent constructor with left top width and height. And we could set defaults here if you want, or you can just leave it out altogether if you wanted to. So you can leave this out altogether and then use the defaults, which are 100. But just since I have this here, I'm just gonna take in. I'm gonna force the left and the top, and I'll make the default to be 100 and 100 height. And we're just going to do this back color equals color red. But again, you could do the string red. And I'll also do, just so I can show you the CSS, I could do border equals 1 for 1 pixel solid black. But I can also do what I mentioned before. So we're going to do CSS border top equals 1 pixel solid black. Just to show the incorporation of the CSS syntactic sugar that I mentioned earlier. Okay, so now instead of creating 3 panels, what we can do is we can get rid of all this. And we'll just make 3 new panels. So panel 2, panel 3, and we'll just give them different tops. So this will be 100 and this will be 200. We'll save, we'll refresh. New custom panel. So you had 3 panels there, you just didn't see them. So you see the 3 panels, the 3 custom panels here. But most likely you wouldn't do that either. You would usually make a loop or something. So for I equals 0, I less than, say we're going to have 5 panels now, and plus plus I. We're just going to do panel equals new custom panel I times 10 for its left, and say I times 100 for its top. And we can just do, this controls add, so we do it inline over here. And we can get rid of that, and now you'll see we should have 5 panels offset from each other. Refresh, 5 panels offset from each other. So back to the object orientation here, you can see that now I can also just add a new text box, which I will. So I'm just going to add a new text box here, and you can just see that if I wanted a more complicated object, more of a composite object, you can see now I have 5 panels with text boxes. And since I now have this nice object, I can actually make it do things. So I can say color box equals new text box, and I can do something like color box return key, which is an event. So instead of click, we're going to do when I hit return key. We'll do new server event, and I'm going to do this change color. And we'll pass in the color box. Note that you could have a class variable, so I could have private color box and then have a function that in my function then, so over here I'm going to write a function change color. See, I didn't have the local variable. I could do this color box equals, right? Or this color box whatever equals. But I'm actually going to take in a parameter. So this is going to be color box. And we'll do color box where we're going to do this back color equals color box arrow text, okay? I pass in the color box here, I give it the event over here, and I have my change color over here, and then so when I hit enter, let's see what happens. So I have an unexpected, so you saw that it told me there was an error. The error was I didn't semicolon, so NOLOH told me that on line 11 I had unexpected. So now I can just enter green, red, oh I don't want red, I already have red, yellow, purple, orange, pink. Okay, so we have all these nice colors, and it's very nice. I have this nice composite object.